This is Corey Willis with PPEI, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
I'm Adam Blattenberg from Diesel World.
Hi, this is Dan, owner of Dan's Diesel Performance.
I'm Christian Roth of DD Diesel.
I'm Braden Fleece, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
What is going on, Diesel Nation? We're excited to have you guys with us today on the Diesel Podcast. I'm really excited about today's episode. We got tagged in an Instagram video recently, and this gentleman that's going to be on today, he designed a set of billet control arms for Dodge Ram trucks, which is one of a kind out there, and they're a complete work of art. But we wanted to jump into the backstory and the details with him and ask him, why did he venture into building these? What are they fixing, or what are they providing that the market doesn't have right now? And some of the challenges of being a small business owner and being able to bring these to market, get them out there for sale, and just keep up with the demand. So we're really excited to be able to chat with him today. All right, let's get to the podcast with Dakota and learn more about these Dodge billet control arms. Dakota, welcome to the Diesel Podcast, man. I'm excited to have you today. It was really interesting. The other day, I was on Instagram, and I think one of your fans tagged us in a video that you had, and I was sitting there watching your Instagram live video, and you had a lot of amazing things to say and a really cool product. And so I was like, hey, man, let's do a podcast. People need to hear about this. So I'm glad to have you on today.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to be on here to talk about it. I've really been noticing a lot lately. I just came out with this new product. I offered double adjustable billet control arms for Dodge trucks ranging from 94 all the way to 2013, and the product is about to drop within the next week or so, and I've gotten nothing but messages about, lower pricing for people and sponsorships, and it's just really blowing me away, considering for my release I'm doing $100 off of every set right out of the gate, sold in the first 2 weeks. And that was really what stemmed for me to shoot that video on my Instagram.
That's what really caught my attention is, regardless of whether it's diesel, construction, agriculture, technology, any sort of industry, any business owner, anyone that's involved with, starting a company, making a product, designing something, they get hit with exactly what you were talking about. And I wanted to just go into more detail with you, have you talk to us a bit more about, you had mentioned in that video, I've invested a lot of time and money and risk, and how do I justify, or how can it be justified that I'm just going to, hack the prices or just give them away for free when, you're doing this on your own. You've taken it upon yourself to create it and make these products. And I just wanted to get more of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, man, like you were just saying, this all has come from my pocket. I work full-time. Every single extra dollar that I've had and saved over the years, or, over just a short period of time, I've invested in this company and invested in this product. And in my video, I talk about I only own 2 trucks that can use this product. So realistically, I'm making this product for the consumer because I am a consumer of a ton of different products from big companies. And being the consumer, I know how it feels when you spend top dollar for something that you really don't feel like is top quality. But what I've noticed in the, industry is the market's really cornered, and you're kind of just forced to go with a lower quality for the price. And the thing about my product is I focus so much on raising the quality for the consumer, whether it be installation or material or anything like that. That was my main focus. My main focus wasn't to get rich off of the product or cut corners to save money. And if you look at my product quality compared to anything on the market right now, the quality is, extremely better. And the price, if you look at all these different huge companies, we're literally priced within $50 of each other. So when people were hitting me up for discounts on top of the discount I already came out with, it almost offended me because of how much I focused on quality for the consumer.
It's one of those things that I've thought about this before with things like that. It's like, if we removed ourselves from, making a product and say we just, we work a job, right? And our boss was to come to us and say, hey, you know what, you're doing a good job, but this other person will do it for $8 less an hour. So I'm just gonna swap you out with them because they'll do it cheaper. They do an okay job. You'd be offended. You'd be like, what? It wouldn't fly. And it's the same sort of thing, I believe, with products, especially with something that's unique that fills a gap that doesn't exist. And I know that there's a lot of diesel shop owners and diesel companies I've chatted with over the years where they feel the same way that you do. And I was just watching and I was like pumped up. I'm like, yeah, I mean, like he gets it. He understands. And I think that's really cool. And I think it'll set, you apart from so many other places because you value what you do.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And, I don't want somebody to put my product on their truck if I wouldn't be satisfied putting it on my own truck. Because, this all started, I made the first set in my laundry room, not thinking anything of it. I said, man, I need some, control arms for my truck. I took the lift off, turned it into a street truck, and, here I was again finding myself as the consumer cornered on buying some generic control arm. So I said, screw it, I'm going to build a set for myself. Did that, went to a dyno event, people started seeing them, and they're like, oh, I want them. Well, here I am, like, not expecting to do anything involving these control arms. I normally focused on performance engine builds, and I just kept finding consumers going, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, because they don't see it very often. And then what do? I'm like, oh, I need to step it up. Now I need to focus on, really how I can outdo everybody else. I did that, and that took, hours of manual lathe time, standing there just turning metal down just to get something that was different and still high quality. And I had tons of people even then asking me, why are you using quarter wall DOM, or why don't you just use thin wall this? And, oh, it's going to cost you way more money. And I'm like, dude, I want the best product on the line. And now here we are going full billet aluminum. I'm seeing this transition happen in the off-road scene, whether it be billet trailing arms or billet upper A arms. And that's the new era of suspension. And I wanted to, really capture the market early in. And I've sacrificed everything, whether it's late nights, losing sleep, draining my bank account, all of those things. I just want the best thing that I could possibly offer someone with my name on it, on all these different trucks in the industry.
That's what's really cool, is to see that infusion of ingenuity and hard work into diesel. And it's kind of a larger thing is we think of, the gas world or off-road world. They're like leading the pack with things, and they've been around longer and everything like that. But to see what you're doing with these control arms for 2,500, 3,500 Ram trucks, people are going to want them. There's a lot of people I personally know that they've had lifted trucks and like, now I want a street truck. I just got a built engine and compounds and all this other stuff, and I don't want it, 6 inches higher. I want to lower it back down. And they want something that sets it apart. Because if we think about the engine builds, right, is we want them to look, we want them built well, we want them to look well, we want the chargers to, to pop, we want unique things to it. Well, why would we settle on the control arms? And it's just those little details and builds that as the owner, you're proud of, and when people notice it, you want to tell a story of it. And I can see a lot of people being interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with you on everybody wants that wow factor on their engines. And, at the end of the day, whether you're going to the drag strip or you're pulling the sled or you're just daily driving your truck on the streets, a huge critical thing that people forget is, in the drag racing world, horsepower doesn't win races, traction does. So if you can't hook up, you're not going to win any races. And I feel like a big factor that is missed is these dudes are all launching in four-wheel drive, and they're so reliant on, these generic control arms with no adjustments. So it is what it is. They've just got the one eccentric washer on the lower arm, and that's the only adjustment you've got. And also, there's these 1,000 horsepower trucks that are launching hard, right off the line and putting a lot of stress on those control arms, holding that axle straight. And also, a big factor in getting the front axle to hook up just as much as the rear is, caster adjustment. And that'll also help, keeping the truck on the track. So you're not, your steering's not wandering all over the place. And by having a double adjustable upper and lower, that's really going to let these guys fine tune exactly what they need for their truck setup. And I think that's going to help out huge by doing them the way I've designed them. And like I said, it could be, on the pulling the sled or the streets or the strip. It doesn't really matter. And I'm really excited to, let people show these things off. And whether it be a show truck, there's show material for sure. And a lot of people were asking, like, oh, are you going to offer powder coating? Or are you going to offer this? And, like, I was going to offer powder coating and anodized and all this stuff. And then every person that asked me, they were like, right when they saw the product off the lathe, they were like, oh, my God, how could anybody want to touch these things? Like, these things are freaking insane. So I'm really excited to see kind of what waves we can make in the industry for sure. Hopefully this goes a long ways. We've got a ton being produced right now. A lot of big companies have kind of slowed down because of the current economy right now. And, here I am. I'm ramping up, trying to prepare for everybody to spend money and get back rolling. And I'm really excited to be ready and prepared for these orders to come piling in. And hopefully a lot of people, get them. And one other thing I noticed, about these other products that are on the line right now, I focus on the misalignment spacers. The arms are built out of 6061 billet aluminum. And one thing I've noticed about buying Heims joints for control arms or anything like that, they come pretty standard with a 2-inch width misalignment. And what I focused on is I spent a ton of my money and a ton of my focus on getting the correct misalignments for a Dodge axle and a Dodge frame, because all these other companies, if you call them personally and you ask them, hey, what are you guys doing to make up for the difference on the bracket and the width? They say, oh, we just have you stack 2 washers. You can't see it. It's no big deal. And I thought that, that blew me away when I was personally told that when I originally started this all. So one thing my kits offer is I paid and had the correct misalignments made to go right up in the Dodge brackets. And like I said, I have kits for 2013 all the way down to 1994. And, between years, the misalignments change. And I think that's going to be a huge factor in these kits and the quality of them. And people are going to really notice that. Wow, I open the box and my arms are going to come preset, so you're not confused on whether, where to even start on adjusting these things. Because a lot of these companies that sell double adjustable arms, you open your box, you get a pile of Heims joints, a pile of misalignments, and, 4 arms, and then you go, oh my God, what am I supposed to do with this? Where am I supposed to start? So what I did is I made a jig, and now all of my arms, they come preset, so the consumer just opens the box and can throw it right on the truck and then fine-tune them for whatever their setup is. But I think that's also going to be a huge factor in this product.
Yeah, the installation, whether it's a consumer or shops are getting these from you and doing them for customers is such a huge deal, and we can think about products in any type of industry. We buy them and it's like it can be a really cool product, but if the install is a pain, it's like, oh man, do I really want to buy these, or how's the install go? Like, that's a ton of the questions that you see on reviews or people asking things on Facebook groups or on Instagram is, well, how'd the install go? How was it? What about this? What about that? And I think that the easier that is, the better overall experience the consumer has.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And as, being a mechanic myself, one thing that drives me nuts is when you're trying to do a job and it's fighting you the whole time. And that's the last thing I want my consumer to do is deal with a struggle when they put my kits on. And, also one thing I've noticed about the misalignments again is most of these misalignments that come with these Heims joints, they're not metric. Well, these trucks are metric. So people are having to, put a 14 millimeter bolt in a 9/16 hole for a misalignment. Well, that's not the proper way to do it, So, the option you have is, okay, I need to drill out my existing frame brackets to 9/16 so I don't have that slop in the Heims joint, because over time, sure, it'll work in the beginning. You won't notice it, but as that thing starts to wear and loosen up a little bit, you're going to notice tremendously that slop because of the improper bolt size and the improper misalignment. So we will be the only company that's offering the correct width. Aside from that, it's going to be the right size hole. So you're not going to have to go struggling, drilling holes in your frame, and then you're really stuck with this kit. Then you have no choice after that. These kits, you could sell your truck and take them off, put your stock ones right back in their place, and keep them for your next truck, instead of, being stuck with leaving a $900 product on your truck and just giving it away if you were to sell the truck.
That's cool. That's another really good selling point. And I know that, we're chatting about, this product, and there is a demand for it. I can see it, and I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable suspension, person at all. But it's like when I saw the video and I saw the product, I'm like, I would put that on my truck. I may not even need it, but I want it on there, And like, so for people that they're listening, they're interested in it, what are some ways that people can see what you're doing, see the updates, see when things are available, and just, be able to contact you if they got questions or want to know if it works on their application?
Yeah, so a big way that people have been communicating with me is through my social media platforms. Like I said, I have a company Instagram. It's under Full Hook Performance. You can reach me there. There's going to be a link for our website where you could purchase the arms. If you have any questions, my phone number's in the bio on that Instagram and also on our website. My personal Instagram has a lot more traffic on it. That's where my live videos are. That's where you see a lot of the other builds that I'm involved with. That is _blue_24V. And, you can reach me there as well. My contact number is in that bio as well with the website for Full Hook Performance. So we'll be having a pre-sale, like I said, of $100 off every set sold in the 2 weeks when they release. Like I said, it should release next week is when I'll be dropping the sale. But until then, you can communicate with me. I'll give you a call personally and explain, the installation, explain the product, explain every question that you have. I'll answer it right there and make you feel comfortable before you, decide on buying the product. And I think that's huge as well, just the personal contact with the consumer. I feel like a lot of these companies, you never really can reach out to them and talk to, someone that really knows about the product. I feel like it's just, normally a paid employee that's paid to do a job, and that's really it. It's not their passion, but they're just there to make a paycheck. Like, this is my life. So, I don't mind at all talking on the phone for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and that's just part of the sacrifices is answering phone calls. I have tons of phone calls that pile in, and I take 90% of them, even if I'm in the middle of, building an engine or in the middle of anything. It doesn't matter. I'll step out and I'll, communicate with my customers no matter what time of day it is.
That's one of the cool things that, over the years of talking with business owners and asking them, hey, how'd you start or when did you start? And, it goes back, some of them to like the late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. And one of the things they've told me that they loved and that they miss, because, their companies have grown, and I'm sure you're going to grow and get employees and more machines and ship more product, is they go, I miss talking on the phone with customers, or I miss when they come in the shop or the showroom, and being able to engage with them. And that's where you get the most helpful information. Like, that's your biggest critic, is your potential customer or your customer. And when you can hear their feedback or what they're thinking of or the questions they have, it gives you such valuable information to be able to, either, offer more options for your product, add things to the instructions, add things to the website, all those sorts of things. And it helps so much.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the best feeling for me. And you hear people talk about, these other companies, and, I'm sponsored by AirDog, and I've gotten into, conversations with people on my personal social media about, the product, and I tell them, I'm like, look, they have the best customer service. I mean, hands down. I chatted up with them on the phone for 45 minutes, and it's not always just about their product. It's about, anything. And that's huge for me, and that makes me feel like family. And you see on my social media, like, I tell people, I'm like, man, they make me feel like I'm their family. I could go hang out with them, and that's what I want for my own company. I want these people to feel comfortable coming to me with, questions or, things I could possibly change to make the product better, and not get offended by that. That just helped me out instead of laying it all on me and not knowing, what I could do to make it better, unless these people come out and just tell me. And I think that's big.
Exactly. I think, just from, the product and our conversations and being able, following, your page and seeing what you do, I know you're going to be successful. I know this product definitely fills a need that's out there in the market, and we appreciate you taking your time today to chat with us. And also, we look forward to seeing you grow, seeing your business grow, seeing where you take it, seeing, these control arms on trucks, and, catching up with you in the future and saying, hey, Dakota, remember that first episode we did? Well, let's catch up, from the first episode to now. Let us know what you're working on. So it was really great to chat with you today, learn more. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you grow this and get more of those control arms out there in Ram truck owners, hands.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is a huge opportunity for me, and, I had a lot of fun talking about the product, chatting with you, and I look forward to, like you said, the future. I think it'll be really cool to, get back on the podcast and tell everybody where we've, grown into, whether it be 6 months from now or a year from now, whatever. I think it'll be really exciting to tell people, about the journey leading up to where we're going to be in the future.
Don't forget, Diesel fans, if there's any products or people or personalities or builds that you want us to have on the podcast, make sure and tag us on social media. You can find us at the Diesel Podcast on Instagram, tag us on Facebook, or you can send us an email to info@thedieselpodcast.com. Let us know what you'd like to hear, if there's any specific questions or things you'd like us to go over with a guest, and we'll make sure and get them on. Till next time, keep the shiny side up. Keep the shiny side up.